I
Or like, I don't
remember
know.
drinking Powerades as a kid, and just you just feel it.
Yeah,
Not good, not good.
it's not ideal.
That's before we cared about sugar intake and all the ingredients on the back. Good times. Drinking out the water hose and having a Powerade with dinner.
Yeah.
That's
Alex is like, oh, that's ambitious. But yeah, maybe just me. Sorry.
yeah. It's like mine
Oh
was
man.
Gatorade. I didn't do I was a late adopter to Powerade.
Yeah.
Oh,
Privilege.
I
I
was
think it was
orange
cheaper. I think it was
orange
cheaper.
Gatorade. Was
Yeah, exactly.
Gatorade or Powerade was cheaper?
Powerade was definitely cheaper. It was
Yeah.
like, I
Oh,
got a couple extra dollars. I'm getting a Gatorade this time.
I
It's all branding. But yeah, we're gonna kick it off, man. Future Health Friday again here today. An extra box on your screen. We got Braedon. Um, recent addition to the Advancement League team over the past couple of years has been making us better and helping the Young Cav Leaders Summit really reach its full potential. So we're happy to have you here, Braedon.
Happy to be here.
Um,
I don't
so
know. Two
one
years
thing,
is a short time, but
yeah, I feel like
it's
it's
been
been
good. It's
longer
gone
than two
quick. It's been
years.
awesome.
That's cool. So I know we want to talk about the Impactathon, which is not to be confused with the hackathon. I know Alex and I want to talk about some things, but I know you're short on time and have a busy travel schedule. So really quick, University of Minnesota consultant, world traveler, director of the Young Care Leader Summit. You mind telling the people a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Real quick, I'm from Utah originally, and I recently graduated from the University of Minnesota with a master's in healthcare administration. Love my time in Minnesota. Minnesota's an awesome place, great town, really great like healthcare ecosystem, a lot going on there, which just made the experience of being a student worth it to go there, and made a lot of great connections. So uh, out of that, I'm recently starting a role at Guidehouse as a senior consultant in our operational excellence team. So, working with health systems and hospitals on workforce management, capacity management, perioperative services, among other things. So, uh, sort of a black sheep, didn't do the fellowship route, unlike yourselves. But I really enjoyed it. And I think it was the right move for me, just given maybe my previous work history and desire to kind of get exposure to multiple health systems over the course of time that maybe a lot of my peers are spending with one, which I saw as kind of a pro. So, anyways, enjoying it. Guidehouse is a great company, great culture. So,
Love that. One of the things Alex and I are going to talk about later is our recent experiences with two amazing conferences. A lot of young, vibrant folks that are either, just graduating or about to graduate or, 3 years into the industry, with a lot of folks really chasing the position you're in. Any words of encouragement? Again, the non-traditional non-fellowship route. Any quick bits of information or things that folks won't be able to find on Google?
we'll be able to find on Google. That's a good question, and I'll be totally honest. Like, even I'm coming up on 4 or 5 months. There's been all the regrets, or you're thinking that did I make the right choice in going into industry and going into consulting right off the bat versus spending a year to 2 years with a health system and kind of learning the ropes. And um, so far I think it's worked out. And so just encouragement to anyone who's in a similar position that they'll be okay not doing the traditional route, and that they can find success and learn all the things that they would have learned as maybe a fellow with a health system. So I'm not seeing it as uh, a limitation, and I think it's just another way to serve and do awesome work in healthcare.
I always tell the story that I think at one point in my career, especially, I thought like a fellowship was sort of like the be all end all. Was like I didn't even know another career path. I don't even know if someone had told me like consulting was even an option. It was just like you got to do a fellowship, and that's the thing. And I remember fairly quickly after, I met with a senior leader of a health plan and was fortunate to get to spend some time with her. And I was telling her about the fellowship. And I didn't say it, I don't think it came off as like cocky or something. It was just sort of like, yeah, I did a fellowship. And she was legit like, what is that? And I was like, oh, like, you know, even she doesn't even like, she literally just had never even heard of it. And so it was like this senior leader in healthcare, worked very closely with health systems, consulted with health systems, all these things, like had no idea what a fellowship even is. And even as I tried to explain it to her as this like really great thing, it was kind of like an internship essentially was what it sounded like. She was kind of like, I don't even know why that would be like prestigious or cool or something. So we are all just like so hard on ourselves too. So congratulations. And it's awesome, I think, to hear too that other people will look at and be, you're so successful. You have this awesome new role. You went to a wonderful MHA program, all the things. And so to hear that you still are like, hey, am I making the right choices? Am I taking the right route? I'm still thinking about that and worrying about that, I think is really helpful to people, just because you see LinkedIn posts and it's like, got this new job, doing amazing. And the automatic gut reaction from so many people is like, you either have it really easy. It's like, well, of course he did. He went to a great school. He's doing amazing things, like probably has great network, like all the things. I don't really think about all the hustle and all the scary nights and stress and things that went into that. And so I think it's awesome to feel like you're a human and still have some of those worries and what's coming next. And am I doing good in my current role and stuff? So I love that advice.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, people reach out still, and I want to rep Guidehouse and be proud of the company I work for, and definitely encourage people to, take that route. But it's also fun seeing people kind of just a few steps behind me and the questions they're asking, and like, man, I just got through with that, and yeah, I don't know. It all works out. That's kind of, I feel like it's always just everything always works out the way it needs to. So no pressure, no stress. Just do what you feel like is right for you.
Love that. Speaking of right choices, you made a decision to dedicate your time, your resources, your expertise to the Advancement League, specifically to the Young Health Leader Summit. I know a lot of folks, especially after this last summit, have written Alex and I like, hey, how do I get involved? So for those of our listeners that either want to get involved or haven't gotten involved, what are your thoughts? Has it been the right choice, or do you have other comments? We can keep it real here.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with my decision to get to know both of you better, and the way I even got in to learn about Young Health Leader Summit is through meeting Alex as part of a pitch competition, and just he made such an investment in me. I was like, man, I got to pay it back. I got to pay it forward. And it all just worked out that I saw a Young Health Leader Summit volunteer application show up on LinkedIn, and I applied, and the rest was history. And it's, been 2 years now, and 2 summits later. But I think there's all sorts of opportunities to get involved. And one of the things that really drew me to the Advancement League and Young Health Leader Summit specifically was the emphasis on like real conversations and making a difference in the community, and not just spending a weekend in a cool place chumming it up and getting drinks with people, but really wanting to make a difference in the local community. I think that's just something that's super unique about what you guys do, and definitely has made my time as a student really impactful, but now as a professional, making really awesome connections, genuine connections with people. Whereas maybe at other summits or conferences, it's pretty superficial, and what can you do for me? And this is not like that.
Awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. Community impact, certainly the foundation of everything, really, especially the Young Health Leader Summit. Past years, we've touted the 24-hour community impact challenge. As many of you know, we're taking our talents to Miami in 2024, and we'll be still dedicating our time, our attendees, resources, and expertise to community impact, but with a twist this year, in the form of a hackathon style competition, calling it the Impact-a-thon. Alex, I don't know if you signed off on it yet, but we're going to go with it until he sends a cease and desist letter. And really the goal is to, leverage what we've learned from case competitions, from, seeing it successfully pulled off, not only for the, recipients, in most cases, a organization, a hospital, a healthcare system, but also for those involved. We believe that there's an opportunity to do something similar for community impact, specifically for those that reside in South Florida. We haven't landed on a case study point organization yet. So if you hear this and you're interested, we got a few, but certainly open to entertain others, folks that have big problems that they want to sign, are trying to tackle social determinants of health, are trying to better serve the communities that they operate in. And we're going to be pulling the best of the best down south, May 16th and 17th of 2024 down to Miami. And this is going to be an experience within an experience, and I'm excited about it. So Alex, we'll love your thoughts. And then, Braedon, just given the experience that you've had with community impact at previous summits, just want to kind of get your initial reaction.
Yeah, we've switched it up a little bit every year, tweaked a little bit of either the money given. It's always pretty much been 24 hours, maybe sometimes it's been a few hours shorter. And so it's 24 hours, no rules. Cash from sponsors is given directly to attendee groups. I tell the story, only one group has ever lost that cash. Just the default setting was like, slip it in a backpack. And then they were like, I don't know where we put it. And we had people crawling under tables and chairs before they found it. But taking that money, taking that group of essentially strangers from your attendees that are assigned to you, and going out in the local community, spending that in a way that you think makes the biggest difference, and then coming back and having that pitch competition at the end to say, here's how we spent the money, here's why we think it's worthwhile and meaningful, here's how we potentially could do that in our own home communities. And so the goal has always been just, how do you spur, like, doing something is almost better than doing nothing? And how do you really learn that even with limited time, with a new group of people, with limited money, you can still make a major difference? And so it has been really meaningful to see that light bulb go off in quite a few people, both on the career path side and on the community impact side. On the career path side, there's people that are like, I took that money and I was willing to fight this group to make sure that it was spent in like pediatric mental health, of like, that's the thing that's most important. We're going to spend that money this way. And then the sort of connection in their head is like, wait a minute, I'm so passionate about that, but I don't really do anything in my day job for pediatric mental health. And so we've really seen people veer their careers right after the community impact competition into new places and into places they really care about and can do meaningful work in. And so that's been really fulfilling. And then the second one, on the personal side, there's also been people that are like, I can't believe how much we got accomplished in 24 hours. There was a group this last year that was saying, just, if we did this as our organization, and they work for a multi-billion-dollar mega healthcare corporation, they're like, if we just even to write a $500 check to a local organization takes us committees and teams and 6 months. And they were like, we went right into this store, found the store owner, there was a need, it cost $500, we had $500, we immediately solved their need, and this is going to make a difference in the community. And then they go back and they're like, my hometown, I could go serve on a committee, or I could go ask these store owners what they need. I now have a little bit more resources, skills, thought process on where I would start. And so that's been really meaningful. At the same time, there has been questions in our own minds, and every once in a while someone comes up to us and says, hey, how do you track where you're investing in? How do you sort of find out what's happening later? And sometimes that's hard to answer. Sometimes it's like, well, we're doing good in the world, and we want to feel good about that. Like, let us feel good about that, versus let us continue to tweak the model a little bit and make sure that we're spending our time and resources and talents collectively in the way that really is doing the most good. And so this year, I'm super excited about the opportunity to say, let's go a little bit deeper before the event and partner with some local brands, some local companies that are already committed and in South Florida, in Miami, and find out where they're putting their time and talents and energy and resources, and bring this group of experts from around the country that have international experience, that have differing backgrounds and expertise, and be able to sit down together and say, hey, in this 24 hours, what are we going to do and how do we make it last? So I think the excitement of what we've done, where we've come from, what we can do, and how we're going to tweak the model is really exciting. I'm not sure if I'm all in on the Impactathon name, but I'm definitely all in on the Impactathon impact.
Say no more. Braedon, thoughts? I know you're building the team and overseeing
Yeah.
the effort, so
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a change of pace in a good way. Like you said, I mean, what's most important is that at the end of the day, we're making an impact. And over the last 2 years, I think that I can confidently say that we have. In a lot of ways, I never would have imagined. It's always so cool to see the ideas and the companies that the group's aligned to. It'll be different in the sense that we come in more of a partnership than cold calling and hey, we have some money we want to spend on something for you. How do we get you this money and what would make the biggest impact? And so I think that'll be different in and good all at the same time. But also thinking about giving these organizations time to really dig deep into what would be most helpful, thinking about all the healthcare talent. We got people coming from all different blocks and areas of healthcare and all sorts of different expertise and so on. So it'll be interesting to think about how we can maybe leverage some more of the skills that we have to make an immediate and a sustainable impact. And so that's also a really important part, is thinking about how do we set these people up for success. Not to say that a one-time impact isn't awesome, it is, but also helping them become sustainable in whatever it is they decide to do with the money and our time and resources.
absolutely. You say you're passionate about health equity and community and impact and a healthier future. We hope to see your face and should see your face in Miami, May of next year, 2024, May 16th and 17th. Plenty of time to book a trip and extend your stay through the weekend if you must, to explore the beach and all the good things that come with the 305. One last topic, Braedon, just because we got a lot of questions as Alex in Vegas, me in Atlanta, running into folks that have seen us on LinkedIn, or primarily have seen Alex on LinkedIn and have seen the reposts and all that good stuff. And the question is, tell us more about the small group sessions. It's such a unique take on approaching big problems and uniqueness that really seems to only exist at the Advancement League. And I know you've personally partnered with experts from really across the country to pull these sessions together. So would love your general feedback, thoughts for those that haven't had a chance to experience it yet.
Yeah, and that reminds me, an awesome part of volunteering for the Advancement League and Young Health Leader Summit is that you get to those 2-3 months leading up to the event, literally work hand in hand with experts from all sorts of different parts of the industry. And that's just, we're on Zoom calls once or twice a week. We exchange numbers, like we're working together. And so never would have thought I could connect with the people I've connected with and build relationships with in working on the summit. And yeah, I mean, I've been to summits where or conferences, and you're just kind of in a big room and you listen to the person get up there, and that's fine. And they do share good information. And we have a little bit of that at Young Health Leader Summit. So not to knock that entirely, but something really cool about the small group sessions is all the different perspectives. And I don't know, thinking about equity and just everyone has a voice at the Young Health Leader Summit. And it doesn't matter if you're a student or an early careerist, mid or late careerist, we all have ideas and see things from different vantage points. And so that's always been a really rewarding part of the small group sessions is, everyone has a voice, and the dynamic nature of the sessions is also makes it a lot more enjoyable. We're asking questions, shooting back and forth, going on tangents, and then, the session leaders are there to kind of keep us focused and keep us on topic, but let the conversation go where it needs to, so that it's uh, informative and worthwhile for the attendees. And then also always bringing it home and thinking about, how do I take this back to my community? How do I take this back to my own organization? And I think that takeaway component is a unique part that I haven't always seen elsewhere.
I still truly want to run an event with only small group sessions. It's like my hope that one day the messaging resonates with enough people that's like, come to this event and you'll get an hour with 6 different hours or 8 different hours, whatever the day is, of different small group sessions. But sometimes for whatever reason, the value some people see is like, I think a lot of us are sucked into the star power and the celebrity. And by nature, like I've gone to conferences where I like love sitting in the back of a 10,000 person room and just being like, I was there for that main stage speaker, or like I saw that celebrity speak, whatever it is. And so I think we all have some of that. And there are, like you said, there are some great things shared on main stages. But the true thing that I love is after the main stage. And we're so fortunate the last few years, like you said, Braedon, some of those main stage speakers go straight from the main stage and the sort of flashy lights and the pomp and circumstance into one of those small group sessions. And so then there's like 15 people sitting with that main stage speaker. But that's, to me, where the magic is that's when the real conversation comes out. And we try to be really intentional about casual clothing and name badges that have whatever you want written on it, often just first names. And so the difference you get when you're sitting in shorts and a t-shirt with the main stage speaker, and you lose some of that formality and some of that, maybe I'm being recorded on stage, maybe there's a journalist that's writing about what I'm saying, versus, hey, I'm just talking to you about my own career. That's when you really start to hear some of those personal stories too. I think some of us look at our healthcare heroes as just that, as heroes that are unafflicted by some of the personal challenges. And it's both heartbreaking and inspiring and all of the things when you sit down and get to hear in a small group that, hey, I'm really struggling with this family dynamic right now, or hey, these last few years have been really hard on me, but here's how I'm still navigating these real challenges in my professional journey. That becomes such like a humanizing and just element that you get close to your healthcare heroes. I think we've seen at a scale sort of unlike anywhere else that we've experienced, is that ability that everyone's here together and sharing and everyone has a microphone has been really powerful.
It's awesome. Learning, sharing, and to Braedon's point, doing, and, taking these conversations back. I remember going to my first paid for conference and my preceptor saying, bring back the PowerPoints and bring back the things. I think, to the small groups, you bring back a little bit more than PowerPoints, some real tangible things. So exciting, nonetheless, a can't miss experience. I think it's going to be special, man. So Braedon, we appreciate you. I'm sure we'll talk sooner than later. How can the folks get in touch with you if they can get in touch with you? I know you don't sit in one spot at the same time as you're consulting and fixing organizations across the country right now.
Yeah, I mean, looking forward to it, and always happy to talk with people, answer questions, get people plugged in. Probably LinkedIn, if people want to find me, but in Denver. So if you're listening to this and you're in Denver and you want to grab lunch or whatever, let me know. Also open to that.
Awesome, man. Thank you. We appreciate you. Have a good night.
See you, man.
See you guys. Take care.
Appreciate you.